So guys, who remember this tweet, or let's say this statement from an APC ally that said that P2B left Anambra State without tangible progress by name Basha Ahmad? He's actually an APC ally. So I'm here to give you guys a response from P2B. Like I said, every critiques made by APC allies, I will give you a response from P2B. So here was what P2B had to say and reply about this issue that have been trending about him not having a legacy in Anambra State. So here is his response. Watch it, guys, and then air your view in the comment section.
And when I finished talking, I said, it's question time. A young girl raised up her hand. And I said, my daughter, probably about 11 years or 12. Let me start with you. This young tiny girl, I gave her a microphone, and I said, Governor, why do you make promise you don't keep? The whole hall went wild. Her principal ran from where she was. Her principal ran from where she was, held her in the mouth. And I said, principal, leave this girl. Because of how everybody shouted, the girl started shivering and started like crying. She's done the wrong thing. So I held her, said, my daughter, what is it? She narrated the story. I was wrong. I didn't do what I said. And I turned to the commissioner. I said, Commissioner, where is the check? Commissioner said, we must give this girl this check before we leave here. So go and bring it. The commissioner brought the check. I apologized before everybody. And I gave this girl this check. The principal and the teachers that were shouting at her ran back, carried the girl in their head, and ran out of the hall. But they couldn't tell me that story. I want you to understand why I changed from what Fela said this morning. After that experience, I decided we have to do one thing. That's what Fela told you. I decided that.
Great. Mr. Obi, critics have accused you of not building schools during your tenure as governor of Anambra State. Can you elaborate on the initiatives that you implemented to improve the educational systems in Anambra during your tenure? And why do you think there's this misconception that's obviously being floated around?
I actually built a lot of, they said building schools. I don't know whether building schools or building infrastructures in school. I don't know what they actually want. If you look at what I've done, I've actually built a lot of schools. But I don't need to answer that. If they read my manifesto, before I became governor, Anambra State was very low in education. In fact, schools were closed for 2 years. People did not go to school. We were low in rating. And while I was there, when I came, if you read my manifesto, what I told you now was areas where I said I'm going to deal with. And we moved from 20-something in number to number 1. Go and get, even today, go and get even cut-off point. Anambra is the highest. But number 1 to today. You know.
Maybe what were the specific what reforms that you implemented to achieve that you think that can...
I don't know. I wish any of you are from Anambra State. I wish you are. So you call your town and I'll tell you what I did in your town in education. All the schools, we have about 500 secondary schools. Let me start with secondary schools.
Okay.
All the 500 secondary schools had what I can call, we computerized. We had buses. We had support in terms of teachers. We had generators to make sure they have light. Those who needed boreholes, we give them boreholes. There's nothing happening with them. Ensure that they have things that is required for learning. And that's, I can go on and on. No school, as at the time, maybe it's happening now, no state, I can say categorically, in Nigeria, where you were able to equip the schools the way we did. No state. No state will you say the schools had brand new buses too. No school had, will you say all the secondary schools had generator. No place, when we bought our computers, desktop, everything from HP, which is still there, as at the time, they said no government in Africa have bought this quantity from them. If I did a vice president for Africa and Middle East came the day we launched it, they will give it away to schools. So there's a lot of improvement. We put internet in all the secondary schools. So it can go on and on. A university, I built a university college campus in a place called Ibaria from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. When I started, we didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it. And I can go on and on in areas where in health was the same thing. We didn't have one single school of nursing, midwifery, or school of health technology that was accredited. Today, we have over a dozen. They were all supported, accredited while I'm there. So you can go and, these are things that are, I'm telling you the things that are verifiable. You can go and see it. So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do I have to build a secondary school? When there's secondary school all over the place, that we are in bad shape and protected, and I go and build a new one. That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything have collapsed. Things were not working. It's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. It's a state I know every community. I visited every community. I didn't say I visited every single community in Anambra State as governor at least twice while I was there. So I know what every community needed, and I've validated. They have secondary schools, visited the secondary school, saw it, see what they were there, and tried to do something. So I don't need to build a new one. Fantastic. Even at that, there's some new ones that were set up while I was there, and I supported it, and I can show, and I can say, we did this in education, and to prove it, we became number one. If you go to the secondary schools today, they still tell you, Mr. Obi did this, Mr. Obi did this. And since I left over 10 years ago, it is still the same generator that I gave them that they have. It's still the same vehicle that I gave them. It's still the same. So, what else will I do?
That was a P2B statement about his legacies in Anambra State. I don't think we should be talking about P2B's legacies for the past 8 years in Anambra State. Let's talk about the current legacies that they are leaving for us. Let's now compare P2B and Tinubu. Since they want to compare, let's now compare. Okay, ever since Tinubu came into office, May will make it 2 years in office, and then we cannot say that this is actually what P2B and Tinubu have done for Nigerians. We cannot pinpoint even one thing that we can say, okay, this was what we benefited from this party or from this president of Nigeria. But we can count countless things that P2B have done in Nigeria. Let's count. Go to the north. P2B was actually able to give boreholes to the northerners, donate monies to northerners. Do you know how much P2B have donated to the north? He have donated not less than 40 million. This is a little amount, but I don't want to over-exaggerate. But he have given more than 40 million naira donation to the north. P2B have helped to renovate schools in the north. P2B have helped to renovate hospitals in the north. P2B have able to pay off some debt of some persons in the north. P2B have given scholarship in the north. Then let's not talk about what is that one thing that APC have done for us Nigerians. APC came into office, the price of rice became ×3. APC came into office, the price of fuel increased. APC came into office, the price of naira to dollar increased. Everything they met in the office when they came, everything increased, and they will keep on blaming the past administration for their failures. It doesn't make any sense, because even Buhari came into office and was blaming Jonathan for his own failure, and now Tinubu is blaming Buhari for his own failure, that they inherited a failed country, Nigeria. Then if you knew that you cannot actually work on this country to make it better, why did you go ahead to contest and did what you did in that election? Because you know what you did. What made you to go there, since you know that you cannot actually save this country from the mess we are already in? Rather, you are taking us into more deep holes that will take us time and years to come out from. Because right now Nigeria is in a total piece of Nigeria is scattered. Imagine Nigeria that was once the giant of Africa. What I mean, they were the first in Africa. All of a sudden, Nigeria is now among the 5th most poorest in Africa. Talk more of in the world. You can imagine where our leader, instead of showing the world that we are good or that we are capable of doing this, all they could portray is corruption. Imagine our president being the 3rd most corrupt leader in the whole world. I'm talking about the whole world. These are the only things you can say that this government are known for. They are known at tarnishing the image of Nigerians. And then tomorrow somebody will have the mind to come out to compare P2B and Tinubu. P2B have already portrayed a positive impact on Nigeria. You could imagine that they had many like Tinubu is not recognized in the world. Okay, I'll keep on telling you the legacy that Tinubu is leaving for us now. You know that Tinubu have made it that us being Nigerians can no longer apply for a job outside the country, because they will disqualify you once they found out that you are from Nigeria. These are the legacies that P2B is leaving. Shameful legacies. Tinubu, if you apply for a job now as a freelancer and then you are qualified, once they see you in Nigeria, you are disqualified. So that means being in Nigeria now is not a crime. These are the things that I can see that Tinubu government have been able to achieve in these 2 years of office. Then let's know what will happen in the remaining 2 years, and we will know that we are not serious in this country. Because I don't see reason why some persons will still have the mind to still support this same government that have tarnished the image of Nigeria, and yet they don't want to give people the regional government. They are still talking about one Nigeria, but yet you're not making the one Nigeria to be united. Because the hatred to the Igbos, one, you are not treating your own brothers, Yorubas, well. Talk more of the northerners. Imagine even the APC chieftain are even coming out to say that they are going to leave Tinubu for this. Many things have been occurring in this country, Nigeria, and then tomorrow we are talking about legacies. Let me hear your views in the comment section. I'll be to guys in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned, guys.